Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we're bringing you a special news recap that's taking the world by storm. The tensions between Iran and the U.S. have escalated to unprecedented levels, with former President Trump claiming the U.S. Navy has seized Iranian oil without permission. We'll also be exploring alternative routes for Gulf states to bypass the Strait of Hormuz, as well as new proposals from Tehran aimed at ending the war. Our top story will examine the gaps in U.S. defense systems exposed by the ongoing conflict. Let's get started. President Trump has escalated tensions with Iran by ordering the seizure of their oil shipments, sparking concerns over maritime law and global trade. The United States Navy has been carrying out a naval blockade of Iranian ports since January 2020, following attacks on oil tankers in the region. The U.S. claims that these attacks were carried out by Iran and its proxies. President Donald Trump has accused the U.S. Navy of seizing Iranian ships and cargo near the Strait of Hormuz as pirate actions. He stated that this is a very profitable business, implying that the U.S. is benefiting financially from the seizures. Iran has blocked nearly all ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz apart from its own, in response to the blockade. The country's foreign minister, Hossein Amir-Abdollahian, has condemned the U.S. actions as piracy and said they are a violation of international law. The situation has escalated tensions between the U.S. and Iran, with both sides accusing each other of aggression. The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial waterway for global oil supplies, and any disruption to it could have significant economic implications. The seizures have also raised concerns about the safety of shipping in the region. The International Maritime Organization has warned that the blockade is having a profound impact on maritime trade and security. The U.S. Navy's actions have been widely criticized by other countries, including the UK and Europe. They argue that the blockade is an act of naval warfare and is not in line with international law. As tensions continue to rise, it remains to be seen how this situation will be resolved. As tensions rise in the Middle East, the Gulf states are exploring alternative routes and shipping lanes to bypass the strategic Strait of Hormuz. The East-West Pipeline, also known as Petroline, has become a critical component in the global oil supply chain due to the ongoing tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. The pipeline, built in the 1980s, was originally designed to carry crude oil from Saudi Arabia to Europe via Egypt. Its capacity was expanded to a 7 million barrel emergency ceiling in 2019. However, with the Iranian war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz still being felt 2 months into the conflict, the pipeline has become a vital bypass route for oil exports. The loading terminals in Yanbu, Saudi Arabia, were not designed to handle such high volumes of oil, and analysts estimate that less oil is currently flowing through the pipeline than its theoretical ceiling. Meanwhile, Egypt's Sumd pipeline, which carries oil from Libya to Italy via the Suez Canal, has seen a surge in oil flows since the start of the war. The pipeline's capacity of 2.5 million barrels per day remains a constraint on European supply. Despite these challenges, the bypass infrastructure is providing around 3.5 million to 5.5 million barrels of crude capacity daily. The Iranian government's targeting of the Petroline has raised concerns about the stability of global oil markets. Saudi Arabia and its allies have been working to maintain oil supplies through alternative routes. The situation highlights the critical importance of diversifying trade choke points, particularly in a region where tensions can quickly escalate into conflict. As the global energy landscape continues to shift, countries are reevaluating their reliance on key infrastructure like the Strait of Hormuz and pipelines like Petroline. We're now taking you to a critical development in the ongoing conflict between Iran and its neighbors, with a surprise diplomatic move from Tehran. Iran has presented a new proposal to the United States, seeking to revive stalled peace talks between the two nations. According to sources close to the negotiations, Tehran's latest offer aims to address some of the key concerns that led to the collapse of previous talks. The proposal, shared with French news agency Agence France Presse, AFP, includes several concessions on Iran's nuclear program and missile capabilities. These concessions are seen as a significant step towards lifting sanctions imposed on Iran by the U.S. The proposal was presented by Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian, who met with his U.S. counterpart Antony Blinken in Vienna earlier this week. The two sides have been engaged in indirect talks since 2021, aimed at resolving long-standing differences over issues including Iran's nuclear program and regional security. The development comes as tensions between Washington and Tehran remain high. In recent weeks, the U.S. has increased its military presence in the Middle East, prompting concerns among regional allies that a new war is looming. Iranian officials have consistently stated that they are open to negotiations with the U.S., but have warned that any agreement must address fundamental concerns over Iran's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The latest proposal is seen as a significant attempt by Tehran to reassure Washington that it is serious about reviving talks. However, the outcome of these negotiations remains uncertain, and many experts believe that much work remains to be done before an agreement can be reached. The escalating conflict with Iran has raised alarming questions about the effectiveness of America's military response and exposed vulnerabilities in its defense systems. The Iran war has shed light on gaps in U.S. defense systems, according to a report by the Wall Street Journal. The conflict, which began in 2022, provided countries such as China, Russia, and North Korea with valuable insights into the capabilities and limitations of the United States military. This is significant because it offers rivals an opportunity to observe U.S. systems in active use, allowing them to assess their strengths and weaknesses. The report highlights a particular challenge posed by Iranian drones, which appear to have successfully targeted elements of the THAAD system. The THAAD system, designed to protect against long-range ballistic missiles, was deployed by the United States and its allies to counter Iran's missile capabilities. However, reports suggest that Iranian drones were able to damage radar infrastructure in Jordan and the United Arab Emirates, indicating a potential vulnerability in the THAAD system. The implications of this are far-reaching. The U.S. military has long touted the effectiveness of its advanced defense systems, including THAAD. However, the fact that Iranian drones were able to cause significant damage suggests that these systems may not be as effective as previously thought. This could have significant consequences for the U.S. military's ability to defend itself and its allies in the region. The report also raises questions about the effectiveness of the U.S. military strategies and tactics. If Iranian drones can cause significant damage to advanced defense systems, it is likely that other countries will seek to exploit similar weaknesses. The U.S. military must now reassess its approach to defense and consider potential vulnerabilities in its systems. As tensions rise with a potential new conflict in the Middle East, President Trump has sparked controversy by claiming he can bypass Congress on military action. President Donald Trump has sent letters to Congress stating that he does not need their authorization for military operations in Iran due to a ceasefire. The letters come as congressional leaders have been questioning whether they will schedule votes on a formal war authorization from Congress. The 60-day threshold of the War Powers Resolution, which requires presidential notification to Congress after an ongoing military conflict hits this mark, has been reached since U.S. military strikes against Iran officially began on February 28. The Trump administration initially notified Congress of the conflict on March 2. In his letters, Trump claims that the ceasefire, which was ordered by him on April 7 and subsequently extended, means that there has been no exchange of fire between U.S. forces and Iran since then. Despite this, the president acknowledges that the threat posed by Iran to the United States and its armed forces remains significant. The significance of this development lies in the fact that it challenges the long-standing precedent set by previous administrations regarding war authorization from Congress. Trump's assertion that he can conduct military operations without congressional approval raises questions about the limits of his authority as commander-in-chief and chief executive. This move also comes at a time when tensions between the U.S. and Iran are still high, following the February 28 strikes that killed top Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. The fact that Trump is now asserting his own authority in this matter has sparked concerns among lawmakers who had hoped to have more say in the decision-making process regarding U.S. involvement in the conflict. That's all for today's recap. We'll continue to follow developments in the Middle East and its implications on global politics. Thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date with our coverage, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We have a lot of content planned, from in-depth analysis to breaking news, so don't miss out. See you next time.